a trained pickup dog. If you think it's an anti-rollback, stand up. If you think it's a trained dog, sit down. Okay, so it's a chained dog. So everyone sitting down is into the next round. So what I'm going to do now, the person that gets closest to this next question, I'm going to walk around quickly, you can have a quick feel of it. How much does it weigh? Whoever gets closest will take it home with them. Have a quick feel.
What are you weighing it in?
I want it in kilograms.
Oh no.
So I'm going to have to do very quick.
6.
Oh, Jesus.
About 6.
Anyone else want to feel it?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Even though I'm out. Sorry. Don't jump.
You do across.
This is what flashes, that's the camera.
So you look at the smaller one. Do not look straight ahead at that one because you won't be able to see for a little bit. I'll warn you.
We made that mistake.
I've done it before. You go do it. Just so they can see.
Whoa.
Okay.
No air gauge, but the trains were slightly shorter. So when you look at the guide wheel on the Vampire, we have to have our free space envelope, and we do have a metal frame that was pushed around the whole of the track when we've done the transition, and that was why we found out things were slightly different, and now our parts of the ride we had to reduce to make sure the clearance envelope is there. So where you stand next to a column, the safety envelope is clear all the way round, but that was an issue, and that's why they're like that. I know people have mentioned them in the past, because you can't see them as you're going around the ride, and people know in the past we used to sweep all the pebbles off during inspections, and now after a certain amount of years the Premier said that was not necessary anymore because nothing changed, and they just looked at annually.
Literally round this corner and we'll be back where we started.
I don't know. The rest of my body is scientific research.
It was the road was fully operational, not like a barrier and stuff like guessing, but like staff, like huge.
What we're going to do is Sam and his colleagues can answer any complicated technical questions that I don't know about how the ride works. We can then take you through into the brake run, which you will have only seen in pitch darkness before. We will put the lights on for you so you can see that. And if you've got any questions now, yes?
Why Transylvania themed? Why the Vampire?
Right,
What inspired you?
Well, basically, when we opened phase 1 of Chessington in 1987, we had the runaway train ride, which was a standard Max Florentian with a foam-mounted throne over it, which everyone thought it was built on the railroad. And it worked as well. But people said we want a roller coaster, we want something more thrilling. The problem was, the whole point of Chessington was it was a family attraction. We had very, very strict planning regulations. We couldn't go above treetop height. Nothing could be seen from outside the park. And so we wanted to put in something that was thrilling, but not too thrilling. Something that was capable of entertaining teenagers that wanted a fairly intense thrill ride, but at the same time not too thrilling that young children couldn't enjoy it, and with a height restriction that young children wouldn't be able to go on. And I heard that Aerodynamics in the States had produced a coaster that was suspended beneath the track that actually swung. It was called the Big Bad Wolf, and it was at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg. And I thought this might be just the right thing. So I went and had a look at it, and it suggested flight. Whereas with a coaster on top of the track, you're very aware of how high you are and you're looking either side. You're not aware of what's underneath you or where you're going. And I thought this type of suspended coaster would be absolutely ideal for Chessington. It didn't require a tremendous amount of height, and it suggested flight. And I thought, well, flight, birds, bats, vampire bats, Transylvania. Well, although we all know Transylvania isn't in Germany, we are a theme park now, so we can ignore that. And I thought if we created a sort of Bavarian town, but we needed another attraction, not just this. We wanted something else for families. And I thought, well, every Bavarian town has got the Hofbrauhaus, the brewery that brews the beer. And I thought, we can't take you on a tour of a beer factory, but what if it was a tour of a fizzy pop factory? And that's how the Bubble Works came about. You were going to be taken on a tour of a crazy, wacky, fun, colourful fizzy pop factory, incorporating all sorts of zany gags, like, you know, how do you make cream soda? Or you tickle a cow and out comes cream soda. How do you make ginger beer? You get a packet of ginger nuts and you squeeze them. How do you make laughing gas? You get a cylinder and you tickle it with a feather and it laughs. All that, those stupid sort of gags. And I used a gag writer called Andrew Offler, who'd done a lot of work for Disney, actually, on Disney films. And the two of us sat down and we sketched out a storyboard. And the whole thing came to fruition. So we used Sparks Creative Services to do all the decoration, all the that you see now, both in here and in the Bubble Works. We also wanted to have a large catering outlet, a food outlet of some kind. So we created what we call the Black Forest Chateau, which is where we all were just now. But in the Black Forest Chateau, we wanted some form of entertainment to make it a bit special. So it's completely changed now, but in the Black Forest Chateau there was a stage with a proscenium arch and cherubs all around the arch and curtains, and every 15 minutes the curtains would open, trapdoors on the stage would open, and Marcel, the organist, would come up playing the Mighty Wurlitzer. And as the show progressed, so the scenery changed and things moved all around, even in the rest of all the decoration moved around, and it was very successful. Well, I thought, while we're building one organist, let's build two and sling one of them in here. So that one is the same mechanism, it's pneumatic, and the idea was to create a bit of drama and theatre within the station here while you were waiting to board the train. So that's how that was formed. Madame Tussauds Studios had nothing whatsoever to do with this. They thought that theme parks were a bit beneath them. You know, they were artists that produced beautiful artistic sculptures, and the roller coasters and funfair rides were a bit beneath them. So they had nothing to do with it at all. And we used Sparks Creative Services to do all the decor. Rep Studios did all the paintwork, and I don't know whether these have been repainted, but they are the most lovely bits of Trompe l'oeil artwork, all that lit in UV. I think they might have been painted over since. And then we used Graham Smart, who did all the music for the Bubble Works, to do the music in here. And 35 years later, here we all are still enjoying it all. And they ripped out all our stuff, and they put in stuff on sort of soap bubbles and all that. And it was a tragedy. It really was, because the whole ethos of the ride was lost. And the train would come into the transfer track if we wanted to remove it from the track. The transfer track would slide across, and the train would then go down there into the maintenance workshop. This has been done away with now, and the way it works is that the train is taken into the station. The tumble track then operates, and I'll show you that in a minute, but the track tumbles over, and the train is then pulled back with a winch into the storage siding. That's the way it works.